When a drone goes up, it sees everything we can't.
What? What the world?
Mysterious figures,
Binog gitu ya?
colossal creatures,
That's so creepy!
and hidden openings across untouched lands. So, get ready to watch the moments that were never meant to be recorded.
Dude, what the hell is that?
What are freaking going in circles and everything? What is going on?
But the drone captured them anyway.
You ever see anything move like that?
Never. It's looking right at the drone.
You got eyes on that, Jace?
Yeah, that's not a deer. Whatever it is, it's blazing.
On November 20th, 2025, deep in a Nevada forest, a man launched his thermal drone late at night. As the camera scanned the trees, a strange figure came into view. It had a humanoid body, long, stretched limbs, and a tail moving slowly behind it. The drone hovered for a moment, and in the darker part of the forest, more shapes stood in the background, but their shapes weren't clear. The clip lasted only 10 seconds, yet it felt enough to leave a heavy question hanging. It seemed the man had caught a gathering of otherworldly beings on some secret mission.
You ever see anything move like that?
Never. It's looking right at the drone.
Copy, keep it centered. God, it just took off.
Walking through pines. Drones usually bring back peaceful views of forests, but this footage was different. The camera picked up a towering shape moving between pine trees, covered in thick fur from head to toe. The way it walked made it clear it wasn't a normal person out on a hike. Viewers quickly pointed out that it looked exactly like the creature known across the world as Sasquatch. Clips like this often appear online, each with its own loyal believers and skeptics. Some thought it was just someone dressed up, while others felt the smooth stride and size were too natural to be staged. Whatever it was, the sight left a lasting impression. Barn encounter. Two friends who loved exploring eerie, abandoned places decided to check out a site rumored to have strange activity. Instead of walking inside, they sent their drones ahead to look around first. As the camera moved across a broken-down barn, something inside caught their attention.
Where? Right here?
Oh, dude! Is that him?
No.
No. The hell? That's so creepy! He's actually here, dude!
A tall creature with a twisted frame was moving around, reacting to the buzzing drone. When it looked up and started following the device, the friends suddenly realized it was heading in the same direction as their parked car. Panic took over. They dropped the drone feed and sprinted away from the area, leaving the scene behind without looking back.
How close are? Where's the car?
It should be like further.
Oh, bro! He's literally... Holy...
Grove Ritual March. A man decided to fly his drone over Bohemian Grove, a place long surrounded by stories and secrecy. People often talk about powerful groups gathering there, so he wanted to see what was hidden behind the tall trees and heavy security. Against all odds, his drone managed to capture something unusual, a line of men in robes walking with lit torches, moving calmly, as if they were part of a private ritual. The sight left him uneasy, and instead of attaching his name to the footage, he shared it anonymously. He wasn't sure what the gathering meant, but he didn't want to be connected to it. Field ritual. It happened in Australia. A farmer was checking his crops with his drone when he stumbled on something completely unexpected. In the middle of his field stood three men dressed in matching dark cloaks, each wearing a pale mask that made their faces impossible to read. Their movements looked slow and deliberate, almost like they were carrying out some private ritual. When the drone drifted closer, all three suddenly looked up at the same time. The farmer felt a jolt of fear and immediately pulled the drone away. Later that evening, he returned with help to look around, but the men had disappeared without leaving a trace. Parkside Giant. Marcus, a wildlife videographer, was testing his new drone at a quiet Midwestern park, expecting to record birds or deer. Instead, he caught something he never expected, a huge dark figure moving across the open field. Even from far away, it looked taller than any regular person, and it ran upright with long steps that didn't match any known animal. The footage unsettled him enough that he didn't even think about going to check the area in person. He packed up for the day, replaying the clip over and over, unsure if he had filmed a person, a creature, or something entirely different. Hidden Amazon tribe. A drone finally captured rare footage of one of the remaining uncontacted tribes deep inside the Amazon. Researchers working with the BBC stayed nearly a kilometer away, using strong aerial lenses to avoid disturbing the group. The men were covered in bright red paint made from annatto seeds and carried tools shaped from stone, showing how untouched their lifestyle remained. Jose Carlos Mireles, who has watched over this tribe for more than 20 years, worries that their quiet world is slowly being threatened. With illegal logging creeping closer, even a simple outside illness could put their entire community in danger. Pale figure. In the historic city of Shiraz, an ongoing asphalt project suddenly came to a halt after workers reported something unusual near the site. They described seeing a tall, strange creature moving around the area, which pushed the authorities to send a drone for a proper look. When the drone reached the spot, it recorded a pale figure standing upright, its posture bent forward, and its limbs much longer than what looked normal. The workers felt uneasy after watching the footage and said they wouldn't continue until someone explained what they had seen. With no clear answers and the mystery still hanging, the project had to be paused for the time being. Albino river giant.
Holy yo!
A group of boys took their drone into a nearby forest just for fun, hoping to catch a nice view from above. Instead, they ended up recording something they never expected. Near a small river channel, the drone filmed a large white creature that looked similar to an albino monkey. What shocked them even more was how it behaved. The creature held a long stick and used it in a way that looked very intentional, almost like it was trying to fish. When it looked up and noticed the drone, the boys fell silent, unsure what they were witnessing. After a moment, the creature stepped back into the woods and disappeared. The whole scene felt unusual, leaving them with more questions than answers.
Uban, bukan uban, hindi pa yan seluruhnya tuh, lahat kaki.
Hanging in midair. While flying his drone high above the Rocky Mountains, a man recorded something that left him frozen for a moment. The camera caught a round object in the sky, shaped exactly like the classic UFO stories people talk about. But the real shock came a few seconds later. Right below the object, a person seemed to be hanging in midair, as if held by something no one could see. It almost looked like the object had pulled him upward, turning the moment into something straight out of a strange encounter story. The clip traveled fast, and people rushed to share their theories. Some believed it was a study attempt from visitors beyond Earth, while others felt it was linked to something even more hidden. Whatever the case, the sight stayed with anyone who watched it. Forest crawler. Two friends were wandering through a nearby forest with their drone, just exploring without expecting anything unusual. As the drone moved past a group of trees, they noticed something shift behind the branches. Curious, they flew the camera closer, and that's when they saw it. A pale creature moved on all fours, its body shape far from anything human-like. It looked as if it was searching for something on the ground. The two friends didn't stay to learn more. They hurried out of the forest, still unsure what they had filmed. They later tried to look up what it could be, but nothing matched the strange creature they caught on camera.
We're gonna go back, like we couldn't find what that thing is.
Forest cloaked figure. In a quiet part of England, a drone operator was filming the woods when the camera picked up someone wandering between the trees. The figure had a dark face and a long, white coat that stood out against the thick greenery. The moment it noticed the drone circling above, it rushed deeper into the forest, almost as if it didn't want anyone tracking where it was heading. People living nearby had already found strange remnants, old bones, burnt patches on the ground, and other odd items. Because of that, many locals believed someone practicing old, forbidden rituals lived in those woods. Most avoided the area entirely, keeping their distance from anything connected to it. River monster. Over a calm river, a flying drone captured a strange and haunting sight. Floating on the water was a creature with a long neck and a rounded, turtle-like body. instantly reminding viewers of the legendary Loch Ness Monster. Its slow, deliberate movements gave it an almost otherworldly presence. People have shared stories about this creature for centuries, fascinated and frightened by its mystery. The drone footage added a new layer to the legend, showing a form that was unmistakably unusual before it silently slipped beneath the water's surface, leaving watchers both amazed and unsettled. Riverbank Giant.
Después se lo paso yo. Se ve bien, se ve bien.
While traveling along the Amazon River in 2023, a group of explorers noticed something near the muddy bank. From far away, it looked still, almost like it had stopped breathing long ago. But once they moved closer, they realized it was slowly moving. Its long body, thick and dark, reminded them of a full-grown anaconda resting after a long swim. The clip wasn't clear enough to judge its size, yet people online kept calling it a young titanoboa that hadn't reached its full length. The explorers didn't lean into that idea, but they admitted the creature's unusual calmness made the moment feel far from normal. Clinton Road Encounter. The photographer always heard strange stories about Clinton Road, so he sent his drone up just to see what might appear. While the drone floated above the trees, he noticed a figure standing unusually still between the branches. When he zoomed in, he realized it was a clown waiting by the roadside, as if hoping someone would stop and pick them up. The moment the clown looked up and saw the drone watching, it rushed into the woods. The photographer tried to follow the drone, but the figure slipped deeper into the trees and faded from sight, leaving him unsure of what he had just witnessed. Street vanish. In a quiet rural town in 2024, a drone captured a man walking along an empty road. Everything looked normal until, in the blink of an eye, the man simply wasn't there anymore. People who watched the clip came up with all kinds of ideas. Some said it looked like a real teleportation moment, while others talked about time jumps. A few viewers stayed practical and believed the video was edited to look unusual. With no clear signs of how it happened, the clip remains open to interpretation, and people continue to debate whether it shows something real or just clever editing. Fog Peak Giant. A hiking group was climbing a mountain on a cold, foggy day. The air was thick, and they could hardly see a few steps ahead. As they reached a higher point, a massive shape appeared on a nearby peak. The fog made it hard to understand what they were looking at, but the figure seemed furry and much larger than any person. The hikers felt a wave of unease as the shape stayed completely still, almost as if it was observing the area. Not wanting to take any chances on a day with low visibility, they decided to head back down and leave the mountain quietly. Mountain figure. This skier out on the slopes noticed something unusual moving across a far mountain. At first, he assumed it was another skier enjoying the day, but the speed didn't make sense. Even from 3 miles away, the figure looked bigger than it should have, not tiny like a person at that distance. The camera quality wasn't great, but the movement pattern and the size didn't match any regular human activity on such steep and snowy terrain. Watching the footage later, many people pointed out how the shape resembled old stories of the Yeti, fast, strong, and moving across the snow as it belonged there. Fieldside creature. The farmer, who often used a drone to check his fields, noticed something unexpected standing right in the middle of his crops. He had heard neighbors talk about a strange creature roaming around at night, and some even complained that their animals had gone missing. Most of these concerns were brushed off by the authorities, who believed people were misinterpreting what they saw. But this time, the drone showed a clear figure, tall, unusual, and out of place. With this recording stored safely, the farmer finally has proof to support his community and plans to approach the police again, hoping they'll take the situation more seriously. Color crowd. From above, the ground looked like a giant swirl of bright colors, almost like a moving pattern. But a closer look revealed something surprising. Every bit of that color was actually people. In 2018, a drone captured this moment in Vadodara, India, during the festival of Navratri. Thousands had gathered for Garba Mahotsav, dancing together in perfect rhythm. Their movements created shapes that looked almost unreal from the sky. What seemed confusing at first became something truly amazing once you realized it was all human energy, tradition, and music coming together in one place. Lakebed bubble rise.
Mesmerizing.
Jeremy Smith from South Dakota was feeding fish at Wiley Lake when something caught his eye beneath the water. At first, it looked like a small dent in the sand, but as days passed, it grew into a giant bubble-shaped mound. He filmed it through the clear water, calling it a lake pimple because it looked like it was slowly swelling from below.
It's been building this pimple underwater, this ginormous volcano pimple.
Jeremy had visited the lake all summer and noticed the mound expanding little by little until it reached nearly 10 feet across. He believes an underwater spring is pushing sand upward, creating this strange rising shape that looks almost alive under the surface.
Pretty sure this is one of the springs that feeds the lake.
Moving White River. From above, the field looked like a soft white stream drifting across the ground. But as the drone got closer, it became clear that the flowing pattern was actually hundreds of sheep moving together in one steady wave. This wasn't random at all. It was their natural way of staying safe. Sheep follow one another in a behavior known as allomimetic movement, something also seen in fish and birds. By staying close, they feel protected from danger. Even though it's simply part of how they survive, watching the entire flock glide in perfect rhythm still feels unbelievable when seen from the sky. Ocean Parade. Earlier this year, the Monterey Bay Whale Watch team captured something they never thought they would see. A superpod of more than 1,500 rhesus dolphins drifting across Carmel Bay. At first, the crew guessed it was only a few hundred, but as the drone rose higher, the group kept getting larger and larger. Marine biologist Alan Telty said the dolphins looked calm, almost playful, which made the sight even more special.
Grossly underestimated at first how many dolphins were there, and they were just having a great time.
Since this species usually travels in much smaller groups, seeing them gather in such a huge number was something the team had never witnessed before, and they were completely taken aback. Thermal forest chase. This drone clip shows how quickly a nighttime chase can end when thermal cameras step in. In Medina County, Ohio, 2 suspects had abandoned a stolen car and tried to hide in the woods on January 15th, 2023. Officer Zachary Ghetto launched his drone, and within minutes the thermal lens spotted 2 warm silhouettes tucked between the trees. Guided by the drone, deputies moved straight toward the hidden men and took them into custody without any struggle. What could have turned into a long search was wrapped up quickly, all thanks to the drone guiding officers through the dark forest. Field circles. These fields look like a magical landscape shaped into perfect circles from the above view. Some people like to think unknown visitors made them, while others see them as pure art. Whatever the idea, they've remained a global curiosity ever since they started appearing in the 1970s. You'd expect the world to fully understand them by now, but their origin still feels unclear. Humans eventually began creating their own versions using simple geometry, forming shapes from round designs to giant figures. Farmers often rely on center pivot irrigation, where the water source sits in the middle and metal pipes move in a circle, leaving behind these massive patterns that later turn into one of the most talked about designs on farmland. Human-shaped town. This is one of those moments that shows how different the world looks from above. Centurip, a quiet village in Sicily, Italy, went unnoticed for years until a surprising discovery changed everything. A man named Pio Andrea Perry spotted on Google Earth that his hometown looked oddly similar to a human figure. Curious to make sure, he used his drone and sent it as high as he could. The aerial view confirmed exactly what he saw online. The village stretched out in a shape that clearly resembled a person. The old story behind how this layout came to be is long and layered, but that's something for for another day. For now, it makes you wonder what your own town might look like from the sky. Erupting volcano. Getting footage like this takes a lot of courage, because flying a drone near a huge lava lake is never simple. The people behind this clip were at the Marum crater on the island of Ambrim, home to one of the world's largest boiling lava pools. They didn't just stand near the crater casually controlling their drone. They had to wear heavy protective suits built with fiberglass and special heat-resistant layers to handle extreme temperatures. Even then, one wrong move could mean serious trouble for both the pilot and the drone. But this effort shows how far controlled aerial cameras can go, opening new doors for science, research, and exploring places that humans normally can't get close to. Frozen river wheel. Back in 2019, people in Westbrook, Maine gathered along the Presumpscot River to watch something completely hypnotic, a giant spinning ice disk drifting in the water. This frozen circle was almost 300 feet wide and moved slowly, like a massive icy record turning in the middle of the river. Curious onlookers kept arriving just to see it rotate. The formation came from a mix of cold weather, steady river flow, and currents circling in just the right way to carve the ice into a near-perfect round shape. Ice disks have been seen in places like Sweden and Idaho too, but the main one grabbed worldwide attention. Nature always finds a way to make something simple look unreal. Drifting ice city. A 23A isn't just another chunk of frozen land. It's so huge that people compare it to a moving city made of ice. This giant piece, almost 1,400 square miles wide, separated from Antarctica back in 1986 and wandered slowly through the ocean for years. Recently, it finally reached the area near South Georgia Island and settled there, catching worldwide attention. It's about 3 times the size of New York City, but its size isn't the only concern. The iceberg is blocking important feeding spots for penguins and seals, and if these animals can't adjust quickly, the whole ecosystem around the island could shift in a big way. A 23A moves slowly, but its effect might be felt for a long time. Water Flame Gate. This clip looks like something straight out of a world-ending scene, but it actually happened in the Gulf of Mexico. People were stunned to see bright flames bursting right out of the water, forming a burning circle that many started calling the Eye of Fire. The name fits, but the sight still feels unsettling. Reports later confirmed that the swirling ring of flames formed after a leak in an underwater gas pipeline caused the fire to rise to the surface. Watching the water light up like that left people speechless, unsure how something so unreal could happen in the middle of the ocean. Gliding ocean rays. A drone hovering over Bondi Beach captured an incredible sight. At first glance, it looked like thousands of colorful kites moving through the water, but these weren't kites at all. They were cow rays, gliding together in perfect harmony. The way they swam as a group created patterns that looked almost choreographed. These creatures are known to travel hundreds of miles during seasonal migrations, using their synchronized movements to stay safe and navigate the ocean. Watching the school move together like that left viewers mesmerized, a reminder of how beautiful and organized nature can be. Shaking tree. Deep in a quiet forest of Alaska, a huge tree suddenly started trembling violently. There was no wind, no storm, nothing that could explain it, just the enormous shaking. Some suggested it might have been a bear, but the way the tree moved made that idea feel unlikely. Others pointed to Bigfoot, a theory that made the footage even more chilling. When this video hit Instagram in 2020, it quickly went viral. Whatever caused the tree to shake wasn't small, and it wasn't normal. The footage left people debating endlessly about what could have made such a massive impact on the forest. Rescued man. In February 2022, Babu and 2 friends set out for a hiking trip at Sharad Hill in Kerala, India. The climb quickly turned dangerous as the 3 kept slipping on the cliff. Stuck halfway up for nearly 24 hours, they hoped someone would find them. Rescue finally came when a search party used a drone to locate them. Thanks to the aerial view, the team was able to reach Babu and his friends safely and bring them down. What began as a fun adventure had turned into a tense ordeal, but the drone made all the difference in ensuring their safe return. Woods encounter. Smoker Robinson and his friends were exploring the outskirts of Browning, Montana, recording the woods with a new drone. Suddenly, a pale figure appeared from the trees, shouting at them. When it realized they were leaving, it dropped to all fours and started crawling toward them, growling. The chilling sight forced Robinson to jump into his car and drive off. What they captured on camera was enough to make anyone question what might be hiding in the forest. Sunken ship. 3 years ago, the ship Voichi Bernadette sank off St. Lucie County, Florida, in a matter of minutes. The vessel had been seized by U.S. Customs and Border Protection for drug running and was intentionally submerged. Now resting 100 feet below the surface, it serves as an artificial reef. Watching the ship slip underwater so quickly was both eerie and fascinating, a reminder of how the ocean can claim even the largest vessels in moments. Thermal rescue. Late one night in Lincolnshire, police received word of a car crash victim trapped in a 6-foot-deep ditch. Using a drone equipped with thermal imaging, they scanned the area and quickly located the unconscious driver. Coordinates relayed to officers on foot allowed a fast, efficient rescue. Witnesses were amazed at the cinematic scene, the drone hovering above, guiding the team to save the man before time ran out. Modern technology has turned a potentially tragic night into a success story. Mysterious sphere. A newly declassified video showed something strange over the Middle East. Captured by a U.S. military drone, a glowing sphere moved across a restricted zone with no visible wings or engines, gliding at incredible speed. The footage raised questions in a Senate hearing, as officials admitted they couldn't explain its origin or how it moved. Some thought it might be a high-tech surveillance device, while others suggested something far stranger. Whatever it was, it flew through the skies unnoticed, leaving more questions than answers. Hidden sinkhole. Years ago, Chinese authorities discovered a sinkhole in Yunnan that wasn't ordinary. Inside, plants that hadn't been seen in over a century were preserved, including a rare fruit growing on the leaves themselves. The most incredible find was a collection of lost flowers whose natural habitats had vanished due to human development. Difficult to access, scientists had to train in mountain climbing to reach it. Once inside, they described it as stepping into another world, an untouched slice of the past, preserved perfectly within the earth. Yamal Hole.
Giant craters were spotted in the north of Russia. They popped up out of nowhere in the Yamal Peninsula.
In 2022, giant craters suddenly appeared in northern Russia's Yamal Peninsula, shocking scientists and locals alike. One crater, 150 feet deep, erupted violently, hurling debris up to 900 meters away. Unlike usual sinkholes that collapse inward, this one exploded from below, caused by a massive pocket of methane gas. The scale of the blast was equivalent to several Olympic swimming pools. Videos went viral online, leaving experts wondering, what if an event like this happened in the middle of a city? The tundra now holds one of nature's most explosive secrets. Well of hell. On Yemen's remote eastern edge, far from any roads or cities, lies a perfectly round, terrifying sinkhole known as the Well of Hell. Locals warn against even peeking inside, claiming unspeakable horrors lurk within. But in 2021, adventurers Geist and caver Muhammad Al-Ki descended to its bottom to test the legends. They emerged unharmed, proving the myths weren't entirely real, but the eerie black void still stares up from the desert, a silent reminder of nature's ability to spark fear and wonder at the same time. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of the upcoming amazing videos.